GypLyner Encase is a steel encasement system which provides a rapid method of cladding structural steel sections to provide up to 3 hours of fire resistance. The system will protect universal columns and beams and can be used in any type of building where encasements are required to structural steel. So let's take a quick look at the components and board types used with GypLyner Encase. Gypframe GL10 framing clips are used on steel sections with a flange thickness between 6mm and 28mm. Gypframe GL1 lining channels, which are available in a range of lengths from 2.4 meters. The GL within the code components stands for GypLyner. Gypframe GL3 connector clips, which are used to extend the length of the Gypframe GL1 lining channels. Gypframe GA2 steel angle sections, which are used where 3-sided encasements are required. Gypframe GFS1 for double-layer encasements at board joints. The GFS1 comes in 2.4 meter lengths. Gypframe GFT1 fixing tee, which is used for single board layer encasements. GFT1 comes in 2.4 meter lengths. Gypframe waferhead drywall screws for metal-to-metal fixings. Gyprock drywall screws, which are used for fixing a range of Gyprock boards onto the GypLyner Encase system. There are a range of Gyprock and Glassrock board types which can be used on the system: Gyprock Fireline, Gyprock Duraline, Glassrock Multiboard, and Glassrock F Firecase. Okay, we're going to look at 3 fixing situations: 4-sided columns, 3-sided columns, and beam situations. For 4-sided encasements, friction fits Gypframe GL10 clips onto the column flanges 100mm from the base and top of the column and at 800mm centers between the base and the top of the column. Next, cut the Gypframe GL1 sections to length with tin snips. Snap fit the Gypframe GL1 sections over the Gypframe GL10 clips, as demonstrated here. Where a joint occurs between Gypframe GL1 section, we have 2 options. Friction fit 2 Gypframe GL10 clips in place 100mm from the end of the GL1 section. Alternatively, Gypframe GL3 connector clips can be used as demonstrated here. Okay, we're now ready to fix the boards to the GypLyner Encase system. We will be installing Gyprock Fireline board for the purpose of this video. Where the height of a column exceeds the board length being used, stagger the board joints as shown here, with a full board either side of a column and a half board on the opposite 2 sides. Fix the 12.5mm Gyprock Fireline boards in place with 25mm drywall screws. It is important to know the rule of thumb for the correct screw length. Add 10mm onto the board thickness. The next screw size up from this is the one you need to use. For all column and beam encasements, board joints must be supported with either a cut section of Gypframe GL1 section or a piece of GFT1 fixing T-bar. Where multi-layer linings are required to achieve levels of fire resistance, board joints should be staggered in relation to the base layer. GFS1 fixing strap should be used at board joints. The 4-sided column is now complete, so we'll move on to 3-sided column encasements. For 3-sided encasements, we need to fix Gypframe GA2 angle sections down either side of the column against the masonry wall. Keeping the angle flush to the edge of the steel, the angle section is shot fired to the steel at 600mm centers, as demonstrated here. Friction fit the Gypframe GL10 clips onto the flange of the column at 800mm maximum centers on both sides of the steel section. The principle for GL1 section joints and at the end of sections at floors or soffit level are the same as four-sided encasements covered earlier. Clip the Gypframe GL1 sections into place. Now we're ready to cut the Gyprock fireline boards to size and screw fix them into position with 25mm drywall screws at 300mm centers. Where the column length exceeds the board length, joints should be staggered when cladding the column with Gyprock plasterboards. Now, moving on to beam encasements, we follow the same principle for fixing as we have done for the three-sided column encasements. It's important to note where steel column and beams exceed 600mm in depth or width, additional Gypframe GL1 sections are required at a maximum 600mm centers for encasement work. Where 3 hours of fire resistance is required, Glassrock F firecase boards are used in conjunction with the GypLyner Encase system. Boxing out of steel columns can be done with either Gypframe I-studs or metal studs, as demonstrated here, where 2 studs are fixed together at external corners. It is important to note that in order to achieve the fire resistance with GypLyner Encase, all external joints and flat joints must be finished with either Gyprock joint materials as demonstrated here, or thistle finish plasters. There we have it. Job done. GypLyner Encase installed in no time.